was a android. Now, this will be more like kind of, if you've ever seen the movie named Alita, he'll be a full like robot, not just an android like you have one arm. But the only real picture I can have that actually looks nice is like a picture of an arm, not fully like an arm without the hand, but like it will be more or less the design for most of it. But yeah, or no, he's part android. His arm is the only thing that's a robot. Now I will show you the what he well that arm looks like, but I am going to have to explain his past. So let's get into this. Also, Sideswipe is the next video I am recording, so don't worry, I'm gonna record it. It's just I thought of this cool idea. So yeah, yeah. Now Deku, he was raised by Inko, still a loving, caring mother, and he's still quirkless. That's not changing. Bakugo still treats him pretty badly, same as before, but pretty badly, even if you consider. And he does per se use more of his quirk on Deku. So he would be a more of a punching bag for Bakugo. So whenever Bakugo got mad, kaboom at Deku, which would have left several scars on Deku, including one on his face, his arms, legs, chest, back, yeah, basically everywhere. So he would have several like scars that looked like it was burnt. So yeah. Now Deku would have tried to hide the scars from his mother, which he does slightly, but only one time, saying that he was faking it. Obviously, he got caught in an explosion, and he benched it up. Now he would rely about it was a villain attack that he was coming home. He got caught into, but yeah. Inko is more scared about her son than realizing he's lying. So yeah, I guess having the best mom does have its drawbacks. Maybe you're too concerned at times, but whatever. Now, well, on age of 14, they're finishing elementary school, and well, the raising of hands or people wanting to go to a certain school, and yeah, now he's Bakugo remarks of obviously going to the best high school you could go to train your quirk at. This is not UA. This is a different high school. This isn't in this AU. It is a college for UA. UA is a college, so laying that down. Now, Deku would have obviously gone there also wanting to also be a hero. Now, Bakugo would still do the whole rant of saying, Deku, you're worthless. You can never become a hero. With everyone cheering him on, saying, yeah, Deku, you're worthless. That's why we're calling you Deku. Ha ha ha. And obviously insulting him, and yeah. That would have led Deku into more or less a depression state going into that high school. Now, he would have gotten even worse treatment from Bakugo, even if he's not with his other classmates, which also do it. But yeah, Bakugo was the main thing, and he, well, went a little too far one time, even blasting Deku's arm off at one point. Now, Deku, well, would have, obviously, feel his arm being taken away. Literally, it's blown off. So that's painful, like, it's extremely painful. And they were on a, per se, building when this happened. And Deku, with the explosion, gets, well, flown back off of the roof and, well, crashing to the building beside, which is empty. Or so everyone thinks. Or basically everyone, no one knows it's empty, but they just saw him go into another building. Bakugo would not know this. Now, well, Deku would have several glass shards in his body through going through the glass. And, well, he hit his back on the way, and so he's paralyzed at the moment. Yeah, he's in one of those conditions where he can't move at all. Like, from head to toe, no, he cannot move at all. He's completely paralyzed for the rest of his life. If he doesn't get a replacement for his spine. And, well, someone comes in, dropping their yogurt and their spoon, saying, kid, stay up. Please do slap Deku. Deku's saying, no, it's fine. I'm worthless. And I've been ridiculed, and yeah, basically saying that. Now, this guy would have been a, not madman, but one of those people are like, what's the right word? Their idea was too insane to do. Or everyone thought it was insane, but well, in fact, if they did it actually and found out how to do it, oh hell, that would have saved so many people's life. Like, Jesus, mother. Probably if you do it in like a fully, if you have any veterans from military, from any country in the world, losing a limb or just even hurting their body, even like getting an injured bone or even anything like losing an arm, you could like put on a robotic arm. The only thing is, that never came to, and everyone thought it was never going to happen with whole neurological from brain to arm. So yeah. Now he would have obviously taken Deku back to his area, or to his lab that is funded by him. Now he has been doing this for around 10 years. And at this point, he's about 40. So ever since he was 30 years old, he's been doing that. Now, at this point, he has gotten a actually, arm. He actually has an arm. Now, as you know in this picture, this will be what Deku kind of looks like. Now, he will look like this. Now, I should explain what he's getting. Now, he will be getting 2 pistols. Now, I know it says Ruby in this, but I'm not related to Ruby, and I have no anything related to Ruby, and I do not own any of these pictures. So yeah, he would have gotten these both of these guns. They're exactly the same, and this sword. Now, as you know, I made the comment before of Alita. Now, Alita had a certain sword. It's more or less it basically makes anything. The blade is obviously a blade, so it will still cut flesh and anything like that. But when you turn the blade on, it basically becomes a machete. If you have the samurai sword and put that on, it's literally a samurai sword for skin. Like, you could easily chop stuff with a samurai sword. It's like that with metal, basically. Even sharper, or it's even better than that. So yeah, this thing it's very sharp. Even if you don't have that on, but yeah. Now, Deku would have... Oops, damn it, oops. Yeah, also this is what he will look like with his mask on. Because as you see in this other picture, he does not have the whole, you don't see his face, so that's what he'll look like. Now, this arm would have looked like this, but instead of red, it would have the green. So it matches more. And anything that was red, it was green. Deku would have proceeded to get, screaming in pain for the next several, weeks. Or several days. Because the surgery took a long time. And, yeah. The guy stayed up literally for days to do this. When Deku eventually comes to, him waking up in a bedroom and, blood on the sheets blood on the sheets where his arm was, or at least where it was attached to, and his basically body wrapped up wherever the wounds were. Him trying to get up, realizing, or as soon as he gets up, he falls down, making a thud with his arm and his body, mainly his arm. Now, the guy would have heard the thud and go into the room having some, I'll just say it was lunch at that point, having lunch, putting on the table and that was in the room, and does carry Deku, or puts him up on the bed. So he's at least sitting on the bed, saying he should sit. Him immediately asking, where is he? And the guy explaining where he is, and he does say so, and tries to talk to him about what he was saying you were talking about depression and you were worthless, and Deku looking down, saying, yeah, I'm quirkless. And the guy just chuckling, saying, you're not the only one. I'm quirkless too, kid. You're not the only person that's quirkless. I had to make do with my own stuff. Deku, seeing he had no arm before, does ask, what is this? Proceeding to raise that mechanical arm up. Him smiling, saying, it's a project I've been working on. The government didn't allow me because they said it wouldn't, be it wouldn't be able to be put into use for actual use, and it would just end up killing people. And Deku saying, then I'm alive. How am I not dead? Him saying where I went to was a bunch of morons, and they blacklisted me from going anywhere else. And Deku says, I understand. And yeah, Deku would have, been in bed for the next 2 weeks, having more conversation with this man. This man's name, when Deku does learn it, it would be, hmm, hmm, Lucas Shield. Now, yes, he is brother of David Shield in this, but they're half brothers. The mother, or David's father, cheated on his wife and let them to be separate. So yeah. Also, they have no idea who each other are. Now, Shield has a rough idea if he does have he doesn't know he has a half brother, but I think I said John. Yeah, John Shield. John does know he has a half brother, but he's not in the more or less fluid with cash at the moment to get to Island. Because with that, you need a private plane and actually a legitimate reason to go there, seeing it is very secure. And you would see Deku in the whole Island event remarking of how secure that is. Yeah. And Deku, well, obviously, as I explained before, weeks would pass by knowing all some new things about, John, and yeah. John would have said he had a half brother, but he doesn't know of him, and Deku does remark saying you should probably go meet him. Him saying he wishes, but he's not that fluent with cash. Deku would have been sad to hear that, but does say okay, and he does understand. Now, Deku would be more or less testing new gear out, or making sure the arm does work. It does have some hiccups, more or less like it's slower than it should be, or the reflex speed is down, but simple tuning would fix that. And, well, he was told about this even before the tune-ups came, so he didn't per se care because it wouldn't really hurt him, and yeah, he does know it won't hurt him, but yeah. But it's more or less like if you were to put on, it's basically the Winter Soldier's arm. Like if you were to cut that off, he wouldn't have felt anything, basically. So yeah. Now Deku would have, gone back towards the area, or, gone back to school. Now, he would have gone home after several weeks, after 2 months, and does go home. Now, Inka would have fallen into a depression, but it would help that Deku came back. Now, or she got out of it when Deku got back, but she does ask what happened to you and does point at the arm. Him raising the arm and saying, I got a replacement, and he said he got into a villain accident. Now, in these 2 weeks, Deku has been more or less given permission. He did give permission for this experiment on his whole his DNA, basically. He's been genetically modified and giving a somewhat like super serum like Captain America. Now, this has not fully done it because he didn't do it's not like how Captain America kind of got the super serum, but it will help him, it makes him stronger. Now, the more he trains and the more physical strength he does have, the more boost it will give, kind of. So, yeah. So, it's more or less, once he gets to a more like Captain America physical standards, it would be, what's it? He would have this basically same strength. So he's not like he has ungodly presidential strength, speed, and agility and stamina. No. He still gets tired after training. It's just he has a slight buff in everything. Now, Deku, the previous next day, would have gone to school. Now, several people would have been asking why is he wearing gloves because, most of his arm is being covered by his UA shirt. And he does reveal that he has a robotic hand at the end of the day, only to his last class, but he does ask them to, well, keep it a secret. And yeah, now Bakugo proceeds to say, "What are you doing here, you quirkless Deku?" Now Deku, not wanting to take shit anymore, proceeds to say, "What was that, Kachan? Or what was that, Bakugo?" Now, him saying, "What did you say to me, you damn nerd? Do you think you're powerful than me? You're quirkless, you're worthless. And you're never going to become a hero, you damn nerd." Deku proceeding to not liking the tone of Bakugo saying, he walks towards Bakugo. Bakugo keep running and saying, "What are you gonna do, you quirkless Deku? You gonna hurt me? You gonna punch me?" Now Deku would not punch him. Deku, oh, much worse, proceeds to get his robotic arm with the glove on still and goes to Bakugo's neck, choking him, raising him up in the air. Now, him saying, "That is enough, Bakugo. You're... I'm sick and tired of you ratting me out. Or of you putting me down. I'm sick of it. You need to learn manners." Then proceeds to throw him at his desk. That desk would have broke. Or would have gotten launched to the side and Bakugo, well, getting a dislocated arm. So Bakugo proceeding to say, "Shut up, you damn nerd, you're never going to, and I'm gonna kill you." Bakugo immediately going up to, well, launch himself at Deku with only one of his arms. Now, he would have launched himself a little bit, but he's more or less just going to one side. And it's very hard for him to aim with just one arm. But he does do it enough, so he is going to go straight for Deku. Deku more or less just bitch slaps him out of the air, going and graving him to a wall. And proceeding to punch him and knock him out. Now Deku said, "Anyone else want to test their theory?" Now everyone was like, "Where the hell did he get?" And, well, Deku... he comes back with a bloody nose and a bruised eye that day. Because people wanted to put him down. Yeah, and actually I should explain this. 5% of people in the world are quirkless, so that means 95% are, well, yeah. Now, Bakugo would go into very slight, tutoring of his whole anger, but just putting it down as Bakugo putting self-defense, and Deku would have been the actual aggressor. Now everyone would have lied. Deku, well, the teacher obviously not knowing this is true and does know Bakugo has a big line of attacking Deku and that. So he explains to Deku he is going to at least put him under some things, but he makes it fully clear that he knows he didn't do anything. Now, Deku hearing this, he's not mad, but he understands that he can't really play favorites, so yeah. He does ask if Bakugo, and him sighing, saying yeah. And yeah, this principal would have not care of whose quirk is or whose quirk, or if someone has a quirk and who doesn't. But he does have to does have to, well, make sure the school doesn't get a bad name. And he does say sorry for this. And Deku understanding, he's merely trying to help. He does help Deku out slightly, but at least to the point of where it won't be saying, "Why are you helping this quirkless kid?" And proceeding to leave or get fired. So yeah, Deku completely understanding this and does wish the man a good day. And the man regards saying, "You're quite a forgiving person." Deku looking back in saying, "Oh, I'm forgiving when it's understandable," and walks off. Now the principal would have sweat drops saying, "Oh, okay, don't piss him off." Now, that would have been the third year of high school out of the 4. Now, their last year does go by, or that year does go by, Deku actually having a nice summer, actually going to meet his father. Now, his father would have been abroad still in America. I'll just say works for a big car company in America. I don't own this or anything like that. I'll just say he works for Ford. And, or no, I don't know where I should make him. He works for, yeah, Ford. It is in America, so yeah. Him, obviously, well, talking with his dad, and his father teaches how to drive, as well as fishes with him and hunts. Now, he would have asked what's with the metal arm, and does ask if it's square, because he was told that, or he was sometimes by Inko told about Deku and how he is, but that's really sometimes, like, barely he gets a call, like, maybe once a year for an update, and yeah. He would explain the situation with him saying, "You want to come here for your final year?" Deku would have asked about his mom, him saying she can move here, saying he's finally got enough money for you to move here. Now, Deku would have been slightly happy with this, and, well, yeah, he would have called his mom up, explained the situation. Now, when he does say that, well, Hasashi has enough money to take care of them, and, well, he did offer to take care of them, at least for a while. And, well, Inko immediately gets on a plane and flies out. Basically, well, making sure their stuff gets on, but she does get there and explains that, oh, they're on a moving transport, and Hasashi doing his bright smile, which Deku obviously got from his father, and, no, that's from Inko. What would he get? His father would have looked at Inko and just says, "So?" and proceeds to take her into his house or apartment, which he did buy a new apartment, which is now a three-room apartment with a kitchen and everything like that. So it's basically the size of Inko's apartment back at home. It's just, yeah. Now, Hasashi would explain the whole situation of how the tradition of, well, Americans that they don't do the Japanese way. And Inko would not care, but still, well, set up the whole Japanese style in their house. So whenever they do have company over, well, Hasashi's house, he would explain to his coworkers that his, well, wife's Japanese, and yeah, she did not care that she lived in America. Now, several of the guys would have, well, remarks saying you're kind of, isn't that kind of weird? You're not Japanese, so, and this is America. Inko coming out, well, after I'll say this is around the last month, so I'll say she's back to her old self, not as skinny, or not as fat, so she does look like when Deku was younger, just a more older Inko. And they see her, and they're like, "Oh no, you're all good, guy. Sorry for insulting you. We're sorry for insulting your wife." Yeah, Inko would have just asked, "So what do you mean?" And they would have switched up, saying, "Oh no, nothing." Hasashi, well, helping his friends out, saying, "Oh, don't worry, wife. They're just joking around." Her, well, trusting her husband, and just says, "Okay." So yeah. Now, Deku would have come back while they're, well, having some beers, and Deku would have joined in because, well, he is around 17, or, no, I should explain. Seeing Deku was so, Inko was there for about 11 months, and Deku's on his 5th month. Deku would have come in being slightly physical and with a female figure right behind him. Deku proceeding to say, "Oh, sorry for this is a bad time," saying they'll come later. Inko saying, "Oh, no, come in. And she just asks, "Who is the girl?" This female stating, "Hi, I'm Melissa Shield." And yeah, with a mouth shot coming from all the guys saying, "Wait, you're David Shield's daughter." Her saying yes and does ask if this is a bad time. Deku facepalming saying, "Sorry, my father didn't tell me we were having company, so I thought I could show my girlfriend to my parents." Now, the men of this group would have just gotten up, wished his dad, or wished Hasashi good luck and leaves, saying they're about to leave anyways. And they would, and well, yeah. Now, why would Melissa be in America? Well, there's a certain high school there for engineering, and it's very good, which is actually why. And Deku goes to that high school, but it's more or less in a hero course. Now, Deku wouldn't be the highest person there, but also not the worst. So, yeah. Seeing his father now is actually getting a lot of more money inside. So Inko will actually be fully living there, not just coming in and out. Or just gonna leave there in like a couple of years and go back to Japan. So, yeah. Now Deku would have, well, explained to who Melissa and Asashi approves. But remarks about, but Inko, I should say Inko, but not Asashi. Inko does say that when is she gonna get grandkids? Which makes not Deku. Deku's more dense and a little dense, but not too dense. So yeah, but not caring, saying, "Mom, you realize we're 18? Yeah, 18." And yeah, now with I'm looking over at Melissa, her like mumbling, like Deku saying, "Wait, what if you have kids and what would they look like?" Da, 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 da. Yeah, she's racing like she's basically talking like or mumbling like Deku in the whole show. Him just kissing her him kissing her passionately on the lip, and say, "You there?" She does slightly blush, saying, "Yeah," and yeah. Now, Melissa would have talked more, and well, yeah. Now, and later in that night, Deku, after getting Melissa back home, obviously towards seeing David Shield, and he does wave at David Shield, and David Shield does wave at him. Now, Deku have already met David, and they have a good relationship. And David would have asked about, well, actually finding about his brother, and him, well, trying to contact his brother for that past 10 months, or the past 3 months, because they haven't dated for 3 months, so yeah. And yeah. But no luck. And yeah. Now, well, Deku would have gone home and opening up a panel on the roof of his room that he did cut open, though to make it look like, well, that nothing's there. And that would have been, well, these clothings you see in this picture, the 2 pistols, and the sword. Now, I should explain where he got the sword and guns. The 2 guns he got from, actually, I think this is, I'll say he actually bought them. Now, or it was a gift from his father towards Deku. Now, why would he get a gun? 2 guns from his dad. Well, Hasashi is he's one of those people that likes to collect guns, and these were his, 2 guns he got for Deku. Now, yeah. And this sword he would have gotten from experimental, a lab that he stole it from. He just stole it from a lab when he was taking out villains. And this would have been a legal lab. They were actually doing experimenting on people. So, yeah. Now, Deku would have gone out that night to do vigilante work. And, well, that night he meets a certain, he would be more or less patrolling and just having, and yeah, now he would have been remarked as the Green Lightning. His code name, you could say. Now, well, Deku has gotten plenty of shots, but he keeps it from his mother and father. Only his father knows about his vigilante work. Actually, I just said his father. His father only knows about his vigilante work, and yeah. His father is like, "Don't get killed or else I'm gonna kill you for leaving your girlfriend behind." So, yeah. Now, which would lead Deku to sweat dropping and saying, "Yes, yes, father, I won't." So, yeah. And, what should I next try to do? What next should I do? And, yeah, now, Deku would have, after that, put on his, or gone out and be a actually one of those like friendly neighborhood vigilantes. Now, when a hero does spot him, they try to arrest him, but Deku just disarms them and ties them up to a pole, and does proceed to say sorry and gives them $5. And yeah, which was basically what he was doing for the first month, but afterwards, yeah. Also, he's been doing vigilante work for about 5 months, so yeah. And yeah, now, well, Deku would have gone to a store, one of those stores where it's to a what's it called? What are those stores called? Um, yeah, went to a bakery and proceeds to ask for some food. Now they would obviously hand it to him, and Deku would have opened, or well, would have gotten it, paying for it, but they refuse it. But Deku just leaves it there, not picking up, saying thank you. Now Deku was prominently known in this area, so villains stayed out of there basically. So more, it's better there. So yeah. Now Deku would have, well, gone to a rooftop, opening up his helmet, putting it to the side, and starting to eat his prosciutto sandwich. Prosciutto, yes. And eat it. Now, Deku would be watched by a certain black spandex with a gray scarf person, as we all know as Aizawa. Now, one thing, I know Aizawa is not in old Japan. I know he's in Japan, but well, rankings are for the world, so I could say that he was there that year. He more or less kind of he switches sometimes to another country, and yeah, so he can help more. Because Aizawa knows how unfair the world is, so he wants to actually help people as much as he can. And yeah, he's on more or less. Well, he left to do this he didn't leave UA, by the way. He's just on a pay leave. Seeing he's technically doing hero work, so he's on pay leave by Nezu. And Nezu is also, he does this to every single, like anyone that's a teacher in UA can do this. Literally, he doesn't care. As long as they have someone to put in for them, he does not care, seeing they are doing hero work. Now, Deku would have finished his prosciutto sandwich, taking a napkin, and, well, covering his face, or cleaning his mouth and his gloves and his hands because he took his gloves off, and well, puts his gloves back on. But before he can put his head back or his helmet, he feels something around his leg. Deku looking down, seeing a scarf. Now, Deku literally getting yanked getting yanked. And him saying, "Oh, what the hell now?" And that would have been quite loud. And Deku has a modulator on his voice, so no one can really tell. Now, I started hearing the voice, just think of, that kid does sound like he's young. And yeah, now Deku would have been obviously tied up, and him asking, "What the hell?" And I saw remarks saying, "So, the famous green flash is finally captured." Deku saying, "Hey, I might be looking down saying, a scarf, but I am not captured yet." Then proceeding to take his sword, cutting the scarf, and well, yeah, without the and the whole blade on. Sorry if you heard my burp. I'm very sorry. And yeah, Aizawa looking down, proceeding to take his own knife, and he does charge a deck with his knife, or at least try to use it to just try to cut a certain part of his body, so he would lose some pain. Now, Deku would be holding the sword in his robotic hand. Now, well, Aizawa does proceed to, tried to cut Deku's arm. The blade, well, breaks. And he just says, "What the hell?" Deku's just saying, isn't it nice to have a robotic arm sometimes? Helps against those people with knives. And Aizawa realizes he's kind of outmatched at the moment and does, well, put his broken knife in his sleeve as much as he could. And Des said, "Sorry, whatever, just testing your strength." Deku remarks saying, "Yeah, sure. Aizawa, having a sense of lost pride at the moment, does, well, finally ask him if he would like to go to UA, saying he could give him a recommendation. Saying he does sound young and he does look very young. He does ask, "So, kid, how young are you?" Deku proceeding to say 18 and a half. And Aizawa says, "Huh, 2 more years and you can go to UA." And Aizawa would offer him to train Deku, and Deku would have denied it, stating he has his own, he's fine, and yeah. And Aizawa asking, "So, what, is that your quirk or something?" Deku saying, "No, it's actually quirkless, and this is an actually robotic arm." Aizawa in exchange is asking, "How'd you get it?" Him saying he does not really want to talk about it, looking off to the side. Then walking over to his helmet, putting it back on, just stating, "Alright, gotta go, bye," and just saying bye. Aizawa smirking to himself, saying that, maybe because Deku did not give him an answer for the, "Would you like to join UA?" If I did, and I just forgot, I'm sorry, but he didn't give him an answer. So, the proceeding next, while Aizawa convinces Deku to go to UA. And, well, towards Deku, he was just laying off on, he's literally just baiting, well, Aizawa to give him a recommendation. Yeah, he's literally just like, go on, and I could give you a recommendation. Bet, give it here. And yeah, so he was more or less getting to UA. Yeah, now, well, Baku in these months would have gotten a little stronger, but not to the extent of his UA. He's basically a little stronger than his UA. So, yeah. But really, he's really just, he literally just knows AP shot, and his explosions are slightly more powerful. But other than that, no, he's not as much powerful. He's not as, well, as powerful as before. So, yeah. Now, Bakugo would also have his, everyone in the UA would have their own costume, basically. So, yeah. From their high school days, because they were mandatory on their final year to make their own costumes. So, yeah. And, well, Deku would put his costume as, well, this, with his helmet, and his two technically support items. Now, he would also say in the letter that he does, well, he does know how to use them and all not shooting lethal spots like snipe. So Nezu, hearing this, is more or less, okay, if he say he can do it and I have a, well, someone that can actually tell me this, I'm fine with it. Now, he would have gone to, well, the parents and, well, his mother, now, Inko actually found a job in medical. Now, Deku would have looked over Inko's books and find spots where he can shoot that won't actually be, well, actually won't hurt he would obviously hurt the person, but it's like in a non-lethal spot. Like, yes, he could still blood loss like any wound, but yeah, it's easy, like, just patch it up. Yeah, that's basically it. So, yeah. Now, Inko would have heard that he's getting a recommendation. And she does ask, "So can you?" Deku looking at Dad. Now, Dad just looking at him saying, "Oh no, you're explaining this to her." Deku explaining that he's the Green Flash. And a slap saying, "Izuku, why were you a vigilante?" And does say that's bad and it could hurt his reputation. Him saying he actually got a recommendation while he was a vigilante, saying a pro hero Razorhead, explaining who he is, and yeah. And a laugh comes from his dad saying, "So you baited him into giving you a recommendation." Oh, hell, I can't wait to see his face. Dad Cooper saying, "Oh no, I've already told him." Gets his phone out, shows him the picture. And the rest of that night was, let's just say, funny as hell for Hasashi. Well, I saw his, sneezes, yeah, and saying, "Is someone talking about me?" And yeah, but not caring. So, yeah. Now, well, Deku would have obviously pointed out the obvious, saying he is going to have to move back to Japan, and Inko would have said, "So, do you need a place?" Deku proceeding to say, "Do we still own that house from before when I was younger?" Inko saying yes, and Deku saying, "I can just use that," saying I could probably just take the train into UA. Now, they would have not opposed to this, and actually being great. Well, so yeah, because they did keep the rent up for that, so yeah. Because Inko kept the rent up because if she ever moves back or they have to go to Japan for some reason, yeah. Because Inko still has contact with her friends, so if anything does happen, she can come over there and have a place to stay. So her place, basically. And when Deku is at the airport, a certain female is right beside him, Melissa. Now, Deku would ask her if she's really wanting to go to UA, to the support course. You could obviously go to somewhere better, like Island, like how your father is. She would have just said no, and yeah. Now, explanation. How did Deku meet Melissa? I did explain that they do go to the same school now. Well, I'll explain how they got together. Now, Melissa being quirkless, female, perverted boys. Yeah, some douchebags tried to make Melissa lose her V card, basically. Deku, well, let's just say he got injured and, well, yeah. Or got protected her and, yeah. Which is how they met. Then, well, when Deku does wake up in the hospital, because, well, he's still quirkless, he wasn't the best fighter at that point. He's gotten better over the time of his vigilante, but yeah, he wasn't the best at that point. So, yeah. And yeah, which is basically, they talked more and, well, Melissa got a slight blush and, yeah, with David liking, well, Emma right off the bat and paid for his hospital bill. So, they're on good terms. Also, Deku has not taken Melissa's V card yet. That will come later, but not yet. Now, Deku would have gone on a plane with Melissa, them talking and getting not bad treatment, but pretty not the best, because, on their whole IDs, it said they were quirkless. So, people were made sure, some people just ignored them or just scoffed and, yeah, that were working there. Because people are douchebags for some goddamn reason, and whenever someone's different. Yeah. Alright, whatever. Let's continue. Now, Deku would have gone off the plane and showed Melissa to their place. Melissa does say that she could have probably gotten something, but Deku saying they had this place for quite a while and it would be a waste not to use it. Now, Melissa would not be, well, opposed to this, so yeah, because it's probably better than her just buying off a place and yeah. So she would have gone in there and called it homey. Deku would have also said, I have some of my stuff still here. Her asking baby pictures in a, well, adorable face. Deku proceeding to say, oh god no, and runs for the cabinet. Melissa proceeds to get on Deku, runs at Deku on his back, making Deku fall face first on the ground, him saying, ow. And Melissa getting up quickly and looks at the adorable pictures of Zuko. Her to say, aw, you look so cute, you little baby. And, well, squeezes Deku's cheeks. Now Deku's, and that's embarrassing, don't. And yeah, Melissa not caring and seeing the adorable pictures of, well, sunshine, as you would call it. Yeah, Deku's smile was so much bright, it was sunshine, basically. Someone could go blind if the sun reflected off of it. So, yeah. One person almost got blinded, but it was temporarily, so, yeah. And, yeah. Now, well, she does not know how Deku got the she would slightly know how Deku got the robotic arm, but does know the full story. And she that night would in bed ask Deku for the full story, cause they don't really mind sleeping together. So yeah, it's just Melissa's kind of like blushes and stuff like that when they're around different people, but alone she's like, hi, without any clothes and just a bra and underwear. Literally, that's how comfortable she is with Deku alone. But no V card has been taken away from her yet. Because Deku is a respectable motherfucker. He ain't no doing anything like that. Because, well, after that whole event of the almost getting V card stolen from her, she's holding that very hard. If you were to hold if you were to hold something like a tush, or not tush, like a cop, yeah, she's holding on that for dear life, or like a rope for dear life. Yeah, basically. So, yeah. And Deku finally explaining it with him starting to tear up, and Melissa, being the comfortable and nice girlfriend she is, lets Deku slightly sob, but only feel it for a minute, and Deku realizing he should not do this. It should be the other way around. And yeah, him stopping, and yeah. She does ask after that if he's okay, and he just says, yeah, it's just the whole trauma. And well, the next day you hear a ding, ding, ding. And a door would have been opened to see Mitsuki Bakugo's mother. Her looking at Deku, saying, Izuku, is that you? And a what? Coming from, well, Bakugo saying, is that you quirkless nerd, Deku? With a curious face coming from, well, Melissa saying, what does Deku mean? And Mitsuki just asks, so is this, wait, am I auntie? And Melissa proceeds to blush and saying, what? No. With Mitsuki giving her obviously only smile she can do that Bakugo inherited, what was 10 times worse. So, yeah. Now, Deku would have, offered them to come inside, and they do. Now, the question of who is the female Melissa. Deku would have, said that she's his boyfriend, or that he is her boyfriend at the whole story. And with the question of Mitsuki asking, so how'd you meet? Uncomfortable with, her saying, with Deku saying, can I tell them? With Melissa being a little hesitant, just saying, yeah, sure. It's that tone. Now, Deku would explain, and Mitsuki would stand up, saying, can I go? So where do these people live? Deku, knowing how Bakugo, or what Bakugo's gone through with his mother, saying, oh, no. With a chuckle coming from Melissa, saying, it's fine. Deku proceeding to grab his hand and holding it, saying he already beat them up pretty well. One of them went to the hospital with a broken arm and a lot of concussions. And Deku, being the proud boyfriend, saying, oh, yep, definitely. I'm not going to allow them, even if you were my girlfriend at that time, I was never going to let a pretty girl get hurt. So, yeah. With Bakugo thinking his head, just saying, how the hell he doesn't deserve her. And, well, yeah. Now, he's only mumbling to himself because his mother's there. He has literally trauma with her hitting him. Literally. Jeez, like, Bakugo's ass. You would see, when he's younger, it literally being gray from how much slapping Mitsuki did to him because of all of the shit he did. Yeah, no one commented it because they well understood what Mitsuki had to do. And yeah, to this day, his ass, he has not been able to feel it for a while now. So, yeah. But some reason, he still feels pain when he gets slapped in the ass. From his mother, when he was younger. Obviously, they don't do that anymore because it's weird. But, yeah. Now, Mitsuki has gone to slapping him in the face. So, yeah. And Deku does ask if he's in a relationship. Baku saying not yet. And Deku just says, so you got someone in mind? In a curious tone, and him stating no. And Deku saying, you're still arrogant self, got it. Expecting everything to come to you, right, Bakugo? Him saying, what did you say? Deku getting more bold in his tone and saying, what? You think just because you have a powerful quirk, Bakugo, doesn't mean you're everything. Proceeding to say there's plenty of other people that could beat you. Him saying, no, only All-Might could. Him proceeding to say, Bakugo, I could lay your ass down on the floor. Him saying, I like to see you try. Him saying, alright, let's go outside. Mitsuki giving her son a devilish grin. Saying, oh, you're about to get your ass fucking beat. You little piece of shit. Melissa saying, I don't think it's a good idea. Him saying, preposterous. He needs to get his ass laid and gets that arrogant self out of him. 5 minutes later, Baku's unconscious on the ground with Deku really only getting a black eye. So, yeah. Or with only getting a slight burn on his hand. Or no, on his leg. Deku proceeds to dump alcohol, not actual booze alcohol, but the alcohol like where you used to like stitch up your wounds or to help you with the wounds. And well, puts a bandage over it. Mitsuki asking if that's actually how you do it. Him pretending to say that, oh no, I do this all the time. And then Mitsuki asks, wait, what did he? And Deku saying, when we were younger, but that's not the only scars I have. Proceeding to show bullet wounds, even a grenade wound, saying, I was actually a vigilante in America, known as the Green Lightning. Now, Mitsuki, hearing rumors about vigilantes over the world, and Deku was a very famous person, saying, you're the Deku putting a finger over her mouth, saying, yeah, shh. Her calming down, saying, alright, and she does says, so, yeah. Wait, why do you even hear that if you do your vigilante work from America? Him saying he got an offer to go to UA. And she just says, wait, you gotta go UA? And Baku finally waking and saying, you gotta go to UA? Him saying, yes, and I actually got a recommendation, unlike Mr. Pomeranian. Mitsuki would chuckle while giggle and as well as, well, Melissa. Bakugo hearing the two female laugh at him, saying, oh, damn it, and knows he lost that fight. And yeah. Though he thinks you might have won the battle, but you haven't won the war. Really? He's lost the entire thing. Yes, Deku is quite skilled, and seeing Bakugo really just relies on his quirk. That really to basically let Deku be, well, able to fight better against Baku, saying he actually has battle experience, but Baku does not. So, yeah. Now, also, Melissa's going to support, of course, just saying that now. So, yeah. Now, I'm going to leave it out here for this first episode. I do hope you all have a lovely day, a lovely life, and wear a mask. Please subscribe and leave a like. Now, I will be very